There at the start, before the beginning of time.
Everywhere you go, everyone's good. There's no secrets. You know, everybody knows how to train. Everybody knows how to diet. Everyone knows about strength and conditioning. All these fights are going to be tough. You're in the tough fight business.
And a glove touch. Oscar Martinez has the gloves going, or has the action underway, I should say. Abul Hawa has Delgado's back up against the fence right now, looking for a front headlock series. Adrian Delgado is able to reverse the position.
Head under the chin, just stacking the vertebrae.
Former Colorado Combat Club lightweight champion Markel Medeiros calling for pressure and the head position battle to be won on the inside by Adrian Delgado.
That was a beautifully timed head kick. You know, a lot of times guys struggle, especially as early amateurs, to strike on the break, and that's where a lot of times you can hit your best shots. So.
And not only do you want to potentially strike on the break, you got to know he's striking on the break too, and that part takes a while to learn too, because that's what we were talking about. You're rehearsing fighting in the gym. Your training partner may not be.
Adrian's head's in a dangerous position right here, gentlemen.
Yeah, you're not throwing elbows in the gym. You're not throwing knees too hard in the gym. You know, you're trying to take care of your training partners the best you can. So it is a way different look when you get into a live situation.
And Abul Hawa is going strong with the knees to the body right now. Delgado needs to get his head out of trouble. His head is too low right now. He needs to start to get that level up.
Hands are up. But, you know, he was eating a little chaos right there, and he is still. Jeez, another head kick all the way up. But look, it's just...
Abul Hawa's teeing off a little bit with the combinations, but you got to love the heart and the grit of Adrian Delgado. He's eating some heavy shots right now. He is leaking, and he is still throwing heavy.
We were talking about
an inadvertent knee shot, or a groin shot to the knee.
The learning. He's learning a lot about himself right now, and what he's discovering is, I'm the type of guy who will go forward when it's hot.
Yeah. That's got to be something that's encouraging to know that, hey, the first time that I got hit really hard, I didn't want to quit.
Yeah, and you find it out. He just found it out tonight. He knows that now. He's got kicked in the head twice, and hit hard, and he knows he wants to be here doing this.
Yeah, some guys, you know, they want to kiss the fire, and that's all they want, and then they're done. You know, sometimes you want to figure out if you're the guy who'll kiss the fire and walk away whistling.
And Abul Hawa is good to go. Delgado back heavy with the pressure. Looked like a slip from Abul Hawa. Abul Hawa is really clean, though, with that uppercut. He's been able to find his mark coming inside that guard that Adrian has. Adrian's been staying with the high guard with his head down.
Yeah, and this is one of those rare fights, you know, where the guy who's pressuring is actually kind of on the wrong end of things. You know, typically you see the guy pressuring is usually winning. Right now, Adrian's kind of struggling to find his strikes. He's struggling to find his takedown. And he's just going head down into some hard shots.
And he's wanting. You can see him want, right? I want to hit this man. I want to push forward. You got to let it happen, and that's easy to say sitting here, you know. But
just as we say that right there, that was a beautifully set up low kick to a right cross.
He almost threw it like a shovel cross there. I think he stunned him there, but see, this is the fight IQ. You know, you get a guy hurt, and then you give him a minute to recover by holding him on the cage here.
And you mentioned kind of the unorthodox angle that came from. You know, maybe this being his first fight, especially against someone who's had a considerable amount of striking specialist experience. He's maybe giving you, just like you mentioned earlier, when you're talking specialists versus generalists, a different look that you're not used to seeing.
Yeah, and, you know, there's something to be said, especially in these amateur fights, for being the guy with grit and with heart, because if you're going to these fights a lot of times, and you're still trying, a lot of guys are still trying to figure out if they want to do this at all. You know, they're trying to prove it to themselves, and if you're not putting them away, you're hitting them with hard shots, you're not putting them away, that can be mentally defeating a little bit, you know, if a guy's just walking forward and still trying to take your head off.
Gentlemen, we had an absolute barn burner. I'm using that word a lot tonight, but these guys are slugging it out. Like if we had the stat tracker right now, I would love to see just the volume thrown in that round right there.
Yeah, all these fights, everybody's coming to fight, and that's exciting. You know, it's good to be a part of nights like that.
You know, when you mention how badly Adrian wants it, right? That's a tough thing, how he wants to live this way. He wants this career. You know, the more you're around martial arts, the longer you're around martial arts, these sort of ancient martial arts concepts start to be true, like that the going in with an empty mind, you know, going in and allowing it to happen. He's biting down real hard on the mouthpiece, gripping the steering wheel real hard. And then look at this kid on the side. He just looks, he's fatigued because he threw a lot and he ate a couple, but that's a slick kid right here. Throws that switch kick real nice.
Looks like they're looking at the orbital potentially. At first, I thought that he was asking for a towel to wipe him down, but I was going to say that's a wasted effort. If you know Adrian, that kid pours like a faucet.
Yeah, I love the way he throws those kicks. He doesn't overload them. He just lets them flow out.
Good check there, too. Wow.
Yeah, Abul Hawa looks very calm right now.
And that's that specialist experience you're talking about. You know, he's had those kickboxing fights.
But that was a strong overhand right there by Delgado. It looks like he's got Abul Hawa maybe possibly on the reels a little bit.
Abul Hawa doesn't mind, you know. He's got a nice focus. Look at his eyes. Just fully engaged.
Coach Randy Caruso calling for dirty boxing from the blue corner.
And Adrian's doing a good job of using his head pressure here. You know, sometimes people get too caught up in, you got to advance position. You got, like, right here, you're winning the fight. You know, you don't need to advance position. Kind of get your breath back a little bit, get more comfortable where you're at.
What he did off of the break right there, though, I love seeing, especially guys in the amateur divisions don't always get the concept of doing damage off of the break. I think that is one of the most missed opportunities for fighters all across the board. You see it more and more at the higher levels that guys take advantage of it, but when guys learn that moment and have that sense of urgency right then and there at this level, it's encouraging to see.
It's almost like an empty space in the fight, right? When there's an empty space and you can fill it with a drum beat, you can fill it with a note, you can fill it with a kick, right? And that empty space appears when you separate.
Yeah, and you know, I would like every fight so far, I feel like I've wanted to see more feints, because in that empty space, you know, you can see someone go 0 to 100. It's hard to see someone go 50 to 100. But that's just something you got to pick up on as you fight more, and the more you do it. But
yeah, those feints are just telling lies, right? You just go out and lie to the guy.
You're just collecting intel. Okay, I feinted, and this is what he did off of that. This is what'll be open off of that, you know.
And if he starts to ignore your feints, then you give him real stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're teaching him to not be threatened by some of your movements as well. So you have
Adrian's neck is in trouble. Oh, he's out. He's quickly out.
You teach your man to disregard some of your movements, which lets you lie to him even more, punch him in the mouth.
Absolutely. Or find your takedown. You know, it's hard when you're striking and then wrestling. Striking, you got to blend those two concepts together, which isn't the easiest thing to do in your MMA debut. Like you said, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about, I don't want to get knocked out in front of my...
And strong volume combination coming from Abul Hawa.
I love this.
Adrian has to get on his bike or has to do something. Oscar Martinez is looking very close at the action right now. Adrian is in deep waters right now. Abul Hawa is starting to tee off and letting the combinations go. But Delgado is still standing tall.
Abul Hawa is a killer. Super aggressive, but still not. Yeah, good. I mean, that's very fair. Very fair.
Fair stoppage right there.
That's a good call. Maybe even a little bit late. You know,
yeah, to be honest.
In the amateurs, you know, you don't want to see someone take a ton of damage like that. You know, props to Adrian for staying on his feet and being tough. But
Abul Hawa, man. That
kid's got some talent.
He does, and even when he had Adrian hurt, he wasn't just, you know, flexing. He wasn't overly throwing. He just kept flowing. He just kept letting the river go, you know?
Yeah, for sure. He's just touch.
And
fun
just
to
when
watch.
at times I was about to start saying that Adrian is doing what he needs to do to make this fight go in his direction and making it proverbially dirty, if you will, not letting it stay at distance and letting someone who has that specialist experience like Abul Hawa use those long-range tactics. He was getting into his grill and using a lot of that dirty boxing, but hey, ultimately at the end, you got to tip your cap to the guy in the red corner, and he was able to go out there and he put forth a tremendous skill set tonight, and these guys both put on a show for the fans here in Greeley, Colorado at the Island Grove to see.
You may not get to pick what you're going to show some nights, you know, but you're going to get to show something. And Adrian got to show heart, grit, toughness, you know.
A fight like that, like I don't know where Adrian's head's at right now, but a fight like that will really go a long way in determining, with you knowing yourself, is this something I want to pursue? Is this something I want to keep doing? And if it is, that's awesome. And if it isn't, that's okay too. You know, you like I said, some people want to kiss the fire and just figure out what it's like, and some people want to walk away whistling. And you can't do it until you get in here.
Have you ever had those really, really bad Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays with a lot of pain and a lot of recovery?
That's every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, after one of these, like after you've been in a cage, have you ever had that one
for sure.
on the Monday?
It doesn't even matter. I could be in a fight that was 12 seconds, and when I get out of the cage, I'm like, oh, I feel it the next day just because of all your adrenaline,
exertion,
all your nerves, all your stress leading up to that moment. It doesn't matter how long you're fighting. As soon as you're done, you feel everything, you know, so.
Yeah, sometimes, you'll win the fight in 15 seconds and not a blow is landed on you, but your hips and your back and your fascia and your feet and all these things are inflamed.
Someone once told me, they said, that's why you don't see animals fight very often, because they're always hurt no matter what.